Hello citizens of Tokusatsu Central, I am Jared Rand, and today I'm going to be doing the review of the gigantic, fucking full bottle buster. Now, this thing was so big that even the box that it came in was gigantic. I could barely fit it in the camera frame. But, yeah, this thing is gigantic, and it warrants the size, if anything, for a lot of playability that we're going to get into later in the review and later on in our overall reviewing schedule, because I have a lot of things to do. I have an actual life, guys, and there's some shit I gotta get done soon. So let's just hop right into the actual review and toy. So boom, here's the toy itself, the literally gigantic full bottle buster. Now, this thing is heavy as hell. I mean, yeah, it's filled with tons and tons of mechanical detailing, as we can clearly see right here. There's tons of detail going through the actual toy, the button right here. Of course, the gold on it, the grip, of course, the on and off button, the gears, all of that stuff. The button for splitting it off into gun mode, which in fact does not exist, and the semi-rubber blade of the actual toy. So, as you can tell, this thing is gigantic, and in fact, it's so heavy that I would recommend when holding it, you hold it with two hands for the sword mode, because that joint right there, as you can hear, it's actually breaking. So, hold it on one or with one hand at your own discretion, and sort of be careful with it. This area right here is for all of the full bottles, as, you know, pretty obvious, and a little bit of danger signs, because of course. And some red tubing along the handle, of course, the trigger right here, and by the way, the joint on this guy, completely useless, as we're going to see later. So let's turn this bad boy on. On and off switch right here. Surprisingly, it only takes 3 AAA batteries to turn it on. Let's just do that again. So you get full bottle buster, and you know, unlike the build driver, it doesn't scream its name when you, or it does scream its name when you turn it on. So what that was supposed to be your trigger noise, but since this toy, for whatever reason, in this joint, it can't tell whether it's in sword mode or gun mode, it just, you know, does a combination of both noises. Now, what I find interesting about that is, depending on how many times you press it, you will get more explosions at the end. So if you do it like 5 times, you can do it up to 5 times, and it actually measures the beat of how you do it. So, or just like so, which is pretty interesting. But otherwise, besides that, that's all the functionality you get right out of the box. But considering, you know, if you bought this, you're probably a build fan and already have a decent selection of full bottles. Obviously, you'd have some sort of something to fall back on. So I decided to grab 4 of my personal favorite full bottles. Dragon, one of the first few full bottles to be made. Lock, the campaign full bottle, and by first, I mean in the show, so. And of course, because this is an apparent meme on my channel that I'm going to push until it actually becomes popular, Hawk Gatling. Yes, I am a Hawk Gatling fan. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to get right into it. So, the interesting part about this is that it actually has a reader. Yeah, that's right. This toy can actually read any full bottle in the collection. Well, ones that can fit. Bat, same thing. Cobra just says full bottle. I believe. I haven't checked. Gear and engine don't fit, and the same thing with Crocodile Crack. So, press it with one full bottle in there. Let's take Gatling. Actually, it's recommended that if you want to get the different attacks, you need to put them in together. And so, if you put one in and then put the other in, it can't tell how many are in at once. It only measures. Sorry about this. Let me just... No clue what it just said there, but... Alright, on to next finisher. And as you can see, now the two lights are lighting up. And then finally, we are going to push these suckers out. Damn, this is really sucking a major amount of ass right now. And it doesn't matter if you flip it into sword mode in any of these, but in the show he only does it in blade mode. So there you go. There's all of the functions for that. But there is one more bit of functionality with this big dildo. It can actually be used with the full rabbit tank bottle. So, there you go. There's everything that this big boy could do. And, yeah, let's just turn the noises off. I am going to do a separate video from this a little bit into the future, where I'm going to display all of the noises with the full bottles and the ones that I'm currently waiting for, because I have Whale and Jet coming in the mail, along with Octopus Light and Kaizoku Resha. So I'm waiting for those, and that will hopefully be able to get onto the reviewing shit later on. But let's get right into my final thoughts. So overall, the Full Bottle Buster is an okay toy in the Build toy line. Yeah, while it can read the full bottles, it doesn't change the finishing attack in the end, which kind of makes the full bottle reading functionality almost worthless. I mean, yeah, it can read them, but it doesn't change the finishing attack. But once again, that whole reading the full bottles ideal is actually pretty interesting, and honestly, I'd buy this toy just for the fact that it can read all of your full bottles. Regardless if it can actually, in the end, change the finishing attack. But it's, still a decent amount of sounds for the toy. And for a couple of them, it actually changes the sound effect for, the actual full bottle announcement noise. But then again, once again, it just doesn't really change much. But where it lacks in sounds, it definitely makes up for it in size. This thing is like an actual weapon. And you can legitimately hurt somebody with this toy. It I mean, being freaking huge, of course you can hurt somebody with it. But once again, this foam, after a while, I'd have to imagine that it would either get very foamy or very fucking hard. So I would definitely recommend that you be careful with this toy, handling it around any fragile objects. But then again, who am I? Toei? Overall, this is an okay toy, but if you have a decent amount of full bottles, they definitely go well with this toy. And that whole loading feature is pretty fun as well. And if you have full rabbit tank, that does make the playability just a little bit better. So thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video that much. Subscribe if you want to see more. And comment if you want to ask any questions about the actual toy. You can check out my Instagram, ren.jared. Check out my other YouTube channel, Jared the Collector New. And of course, click the link in the description below to go to my Discord channel, which, you know, it's called the Land of Otaku. I also have another one, but I might talk about that one later if I live any of it, but I get very self-conscious about that part of me. And I will see my fellow citizens of Tokusatsu Central next time when I review the Robot Spirits Pacific Rim Uprising Gypsy Avenger. Finally got it right, motherfucker.